that doesn't work, are you willing to lose that amount of money? So let's talk about direct advertising. The problem with direct advertising is you can spend a whole lot of money real quick, can't you? See, when you're spending money, not just time and energy, but you're spending money on advertising, it's not just to get your name out there unless you're independently wealthy. So here's the question. It's very simple. Number one, how much did the ad cost? How much did it bring in? And so here's an example. What I'd like for you to, when you're doing your tracking, you should be tracking your sales every day. This is in your business plan. And any ads that you invest in, you need to be tracking the return. First of all, you need to have a system like Keep or something like that where you can actually track your returns. Where's your um, income coming from? There's three buckets. There's repeat, there's referral, and there's the advertising bucket. Now, in the advertising bucket, you might have several things that you're investing in. So, what I want you to know as one of my clients is what is your return on investment? So, if you invest $1,000 and it brought in $4,000, that's a 4-to-1 return. Now, that might sound really great, but you also need to understand your cost of doing business. So, do you know your profit and loss? Do you know what your cost of goods percentage is? If it's 50%, let's say, and you're bringing in $4,000 on $1,000, then you're actually only making $2,000. Did I get that math right? So 4,000 minus 50%, 2,000 equals 2,000 minus $1,000. Okay. That's okay. Depending on how much, time and energy goes into it. Um, hey, I'm going to get repeat and referrals. That's great. You should, and you should plan on that, but you shouldn't count on that. In other words, that shouldn't be part of your justification. Okay. Um, if an ad gets 2-to-1 and your cost of doing business is 50%, you're just breaking even. Is that making sense? If you spend $1,000 and you bring $1,000 in, you're actually losing money or you're negative before you go positive. Here's something that I want you to think about now before you do advertising, because if you get one of these high pressure ad agencies, and I've had this happen to me, I can't tell you how many times. Um, they go place the ads and then it doesn't work, and they go, "Oh, well, you don't have the right sales funnel." Well, hmm, wouldn't it have been a good idea as a coach, as a consultant, as a professional to review that before you took my money? So here's the other thing that you want to track. You want to track your closing rates. How many calls did you take? How many presentations did you do? And how many people bought? Now, the next thing, who are you trying to reach? Have you defined the demographics? By the way, there's demographics, age, gender, where they live, all that kind of stuff. But there's also something called psychographics, how they buy, that you need to understand. Psychographics. So, where do they go? Where do they hang out? Does your prime target market use the media that you're using? If your demographic, if your target market is 70 years old, they're probably not on TikTok. They might not even know what TikTok is. Here's how I want you to think about marketing dollars. If you have an advertising rep, an advertising agency, a digital marketer, whoever, who is asking you for money, first of all, I want you to pause and sleep on it, number one, and then email me, okay? Number two. And then I want you to consider um, where else could you use those funds? Now, I'm going to give you a super secret strategy that I know of very few people who have actually done this, but follow me here. Okay, you ready? If you're going to spend money on ads, whatever it is, Facebook ads, direct mail, whatever, what if you took the same amount of money that you're going to invest and you used it to advertise, market to um, referral sources, potential referral sources? So, in other words, your advertising dollars are going out to an end user prospect, right? And let's say you want to get a 4 to 1. And so, every dollar you spend, so you want them to return with $4. You get a referral partner that can send you a client every day or every month or every week. What could your returns potentially be? Do you have a marketing budget? You need to decide in advance when you do your budgeting for the year, how much you're going to invest. And typically, when somebody's going to spend money on ads and they're not sure whether it's going to work or not, you got to say this. You got to say, in fact, I was coaching somebody on this not too long ago, a client, a member, and I said, if it doesn't work, are you willing to lose that amount of money? If you can't risk the money, don't spend the money.